Thank you, Nicholas, and thank you, the audience. I would like to invite Mr. Stephen Chirenga. He's the Head of Product and Business Development at Centenary Technology Services. Anna Namboze, Country Director, Uganda and South Sudan, Trademark Africa. Please. And last but not least, Penny Esther Kamusime, Manager Customer Experience, Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are discussing how to deliver digital financial services that meet the needs of women informal cross-border traders across Africa. Pretty much the discussion that we've just had with Madame Margaret Awuma was sufficient in showcasing and demonstrating the extent of the need for these interventions across board. And I believe as Nicholas was asking the questions and saw you typing in the group, you were typing these solutions. Thank you for making it, ladies and gentlemen. So this goes for every one of us, and I'll begin from my immediate left. You give us an idea of what your Uganda is, for example, and the rest will also do the same with regard to your companies, institutions, and organizations, if you like.
My name is Penny Esther Kamsime, the Manager Customer Experience at Uganda Limited. Uganda is a fintech licensed and regulated by the Central Bank of Uganda as a national payments operator. And what Uganda does, we provide highly customized your mobile payments infrastructure to businesses and NGOs as a whole. And in addition to that, you also provide value-added services like software development.
My name is Stephen Chirenga, and I serve at Centenary Technology Services, which is a technology company of Centenary Group. Centenary as a brand is the oldest indigenous or local financial institution in Uganda. We've made 41 years now. And we operate 2 banks, one in Uganda, one in Malawi, a foundation company. And at the core of who we are is the last mile people, the woman at Elego. I hope Ms. Awuma gets some assistance from my team who is here. Those bottlenecks that she has expressed, we are happy to address them. And I'm happy to be back at High People. I think this is my 5th time, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
No doubt. And of course, thanks and commendation to the vision bearers at High People Foundation.
My name is Anna Namboze. I'm the Country Director for the Uganda-South Sudan programs with Trademark Africa. Trademark Africa essentially is a trade facilitation entity. We do support the government to create a better business environment, but we also work with the different traders here in Uganda and also in the 14 countries where we are established at the moment to become more competitive. So it is in this regard that we also have programs for cross-border traders. And picking up on your earlier discussion with Margaret, a cross-border trader, we describe them as traders that typically have consignments that are less than $2,000 per consignment. So then typically these are going to be people around the border communities, because anybody coming, for instance, from Kampala, your consignment is going to be more than that. I'll stop there for now.
All right.
My name is Brenda Mpora. I work as Head of FinTech Business at Postbank. And at Postbank, we are behind the Wendy mobile wallet. Wendy is derived from the Luganda word, meaning I'm here. So the Elegu women, we are here for them today.
All right.
Wendy mobile wallet is a dynamic product which I'll be taking you through with a variety of services. You will see that we are able to solution for the Elegu women, give them savings products. They don't have to come 100 kilometers to Gulu anymore. We will be giving them those products. They will be able to save and earn 10% interest per annum. I'll be taking you through so many things we are able to do. So Wendy Mobile Wallet by Postbank is here.
Thank you very much. That's interesting. Allow me to stay with you, Anna, on this, because I can attest to the fact that Madame Margaret Auma will be getting another term as chairperson, because she's going with a lot of solutions from the summit. So with Matters Digital Financial Services, what do you see as the main needs for women informal cross-border traders, especially that you've heard from one of them? Yes.
Oh, thank you, Chris. So the women, the informal cross-border women traders, of course, she has already told us, they need banking services closer to them.
That's right.
Of course, the banking services have to be affordable, they have to be secure, but also they need financial literacy. You realize that it's not the lack of money that is happening here. They have actually the resources, but they need someone to grow with them this journey to help them grow their businesses. So us at Postbank, of course, with the Wendy Mobile Wallet, this is what we do best. We come to such communities, we move this journey of financial literacy to them, telling them why even they have to save. How can they save? When they save, what can they do with the savings? So this is what exactly is happening with the challenges with the cross-border informal traders, and we believe that we have the solutions for them. Thank you.
All right. I would love to, I refer to you as Hannah, but that was intended mainly for the lady from Trademark Africa. It's very much related. Trademark Africa, given its footprint across the region, does have on-spot assessment of the many needs of these women from all border points across Uganda and indeed within the region. Have you been able to map out, and can you share some of what you think are the very specific aspects that you can identify?
All right, so working with the women at the cross-border areas, we have identified, by and large, many of these people get into trade not because they are specialists in what they are doing, but because there is a need to feed children, buy food, and so on and so forth. That is really the push factor. And also these people largely, even the hours that they're actually trading is not as long as, for instance, the gentlemen trade, because they have to wake up, clean the house, do everything, take care of the baby, go probably with the baby to their market and their trade, and then, that's how the day goes. By 4 o'clock, they have to be dashing back home. What was mentioned in the first panel, gender-based violence, is also very real. So some of them, their husbands shouldn't know they are not at home, they are working at certain hours, because otherwise it's a big problem. So finance for all traders is a big issue, access to capital.
That's right.
But for these women and for the cross-border traders, it is more dire. Most of them are informal, as you've heard from Margaret and the panel before. So this means they are not known by URSB, they don't have any of the documents the banks are going to require.
That's right.
So what we have done largely, and we've been working across about 30 borders, is to organize them in these associations, basically intermediary groups, associations, unions, circles, name it. Because here you can get some sort of formality, you get a sort of base, you get people who know you. When any trading comes in from any donors, development partners, including ourselves, we go through those. So for Elego specifically, following the COVID-19 pandemic, we did have 3 identified borders where we were supposed to have an emergency cash facility.
Yeah.
But given, how long it took, we only managed to implement it at Elego. It was very small. We had mapped out 720 women traders. We only managed to give 600. But that's because there are also issues like know your customer. They don't have IDs, for instance. And then we're doing this also through the phones, because you want to make sure everybody has gotten it, the money hasn't synced somewhere. But then you also find out the phones are not in their names. So then what is the next step? And this is probably where the banks lack the patience. Then you have to say, okay, at least they belong to a trader association. Yeah. Let us set a PAR and say you've been belonging to this association for the last 3 years. If we can have that consistency, then maybe we have a reliable base. We know you will not run away. You'll be able to, actually follow you up. So this was a grant. Each lady only received $150. It was $50 over 3 months, which may seem like peanuts to a trader here in Kampala, but for looking at the results we got from Elegu, they were able to, for instance, lease more land to be able to grow for the next season. They were able to pay the most pertinent needs they have, like health and school fees. So this was a real need. So they need capital to be able to help them in their trade, but also cater for a lot more that they need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chirenga and Penny, this question goes to you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're going to allow the lady go first.
Pardon?
Are you going to allow the lady go first? The next question goes
she
to the
can go
two of
first.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Good gentleman. So do you have any specific examples that you can share with us in how these needs for these women are being met, and maybe where you intervene and how best you improve on what is already available?
So what is being done? I'll talk about digital financial providers that
That's
are
right.
providing loans to some of these women to actually be able to. She mentioned it was a challenge because of the KYC, but at least they are doing something, right? Yeah, then there are those who are providing insurance. I'll give an example. What Uganda has, we have an initiative called Your Pay Greek. It is more of an ecosystem, collecting both farmers, farmer cooperatives, and even the customers who are buying this produce. So basically, Elegu, we are coming. I spoke to our head of business and told him we need to go back, he needs our help.
Yeah.
So that is some of the things we are doing: insurance, loans, opening the market for these women to be able to go out there. Then there are companies, like Trademark. They're working with both all stakeholders, the regulators, and also the cooperatives as well, to ensure that the policies that are being developed are actually supporting these women and not just leaving them to, as she mentioned, I think Maggie mentioned, they have challenges at the border where they're taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So Annu, I have to commend Anne for the work they're doing, but we're also coming. I had Chirenga and Brenda saying there, but we shall find ourselves there.
All
The
right.
source is enough for all of us, yeah.
Maybe Chirenga has been laying the ground for you to do the onboarding more comfortably. Any examples that you can share?
I have a couple of examples, and I'll begin from home, from Centenary. On the one hand, what we have done is that we have partnered with the government of Uganda, the Ministry of ICT, and the UNDP to, first of all, just bring a bit of clarity around this thing called digitalization of the nation. Yeah. We've got a couple of plans. We have NDP3, and NDP4 is now coming. We have Digital Vision Uganda. We have all these various aspirations. And if you are an interested party, if you are a WND, Trademark, or Your Pay Greek, that's my hobbies, how do you participate in this effort to digitize the nation? How do you include people meaningfully, especially cross-border women? So we developed something called the Digital Transformation Roadmap, which is basically the how everyone from civil society to public sector to private sector to developing partners can participate to avoid duplication of efforts, but importantly, to have clarity of thought in what to do and how to do it. Now, that having been done last year, we're now also being participants in that effort. On the one hand, we are doing digital skilling. Yeah. And this is across the nation at the border points, refugee areas, because we understand that it is one thing to have the infrastructure, one thing to have the device, but you need to know what to do. You need to be able to trust what you're going to do. And you don't get the trust through just dreaming about it. You must be handheld. You must be demonstrated to. You must be assured that if I put my money on an agent or a bank, I'll still find it tomorrow. Things like savings. So we are training women groups. We have women-specific products at the bank. Just recently, I was looking at the performance of the World Bank-funded GROW project, and our bank, fortunately, is the highest dispersing partner of that because it's addressing women. So one, there's the strategy of the how-to. We've done that. We are now participating in the skilling. We are extending financial services to the women. One other aspect which I need to bring, and since this is also a digital summit, is the reality that not everybody knows English in Uganda. So how do you meaningfully include through English?
That is right.
Yeah. So we have partnered with a company called Sandbird AI. It's a Ugandan company. They do machine language-based language translation that allows for us to be able to, even if it is as simple as just communicating to someone in Acholi or in Runyankore or in Lusoga, it can happen instantaneously without them having to wait for some time for us to first go to Makerere, look for a translator. So this is, so we're now actually using technology, artificial intelligence, to be able to enhance how we engage with people and try and just participate in that effort to say, let us include women, especially the ones at the borders.
Okay.
I can continue if there's still time.
1 minute. I know
Yeah.
the AI imperative is very interesting,
Yeah.
especially when you look at the last mile customers and how best they can be part of it without necessarily waiting for the amount of time that is taken translation. But submit.
Yeah, so you know, and just to, I'll tell you that the unfortunate bit, and this is maybe where we can also partner in the room, is that in these trainings that we are doing, women are shying away. I'm a man, so I cannot speak for them, but I'll tell you that women will shy away because they believe that that thing is too, I don't know, maybe it's not relevant, I don't know. But I think we can also just talk about this thing of how do we get more women to want to be trained, to want to be present, to want to be able to get these skills. Because as Anna said, they are doing quite a lot. If you go to the rural areas, you'll find that most of the shops during the morning are closed. Why? Because the women are in the field tilling the land. They come in the afternoon. And where are the men? Where are you and I, Chris? We are sleeping off our hangovers because it is the women who work. So I think that is a challenge that I hope in this discussion, even if after us, we can be able to address that. Thank you.
All right, you've just triggered, and no doubt at a certain point we shall be able to. Brenda Mpora, the chance to break down the aspects that you talked about at first, after that opportunity came through, with regard to the fact that these women are operating go-around saving schemes. And the lady, Margaret Auma, spoke about the fact that sometimes it requires 3 people to go and conduct a withdrawal. And really, that is very 1980s. And so what are you crafting for them?
Thank you. So we already actually have a solution for such operations.
Okay.
Wendy Mobile Wallet has a great innovation around SACCOs and saving groups. And saving groups here, we mean VSLs, Chibinas, any form of how people save. So we took note of how these groups operate. They are very, very key in ensuring that all their transactions are secure and they are approved. The same model you've seen that they need to go to the bank, 3 of them. Yeah. So within the same Wendy Mobile Wallet, a group can be created and the leadership mandate maintained. That is for the chairperson, the secretary, the treasurer. It's maintained within the same group, meaning to ensure that the transactions are still approved by the 3 people. So in regards to that, also the members, like you see the Elegu team or the Elegu cross-border women, will be able to be added onto that group, the 800 members, to enable them easily save. Of course, we know they are very far from the bank. We will bring the agents near to them, the Wendy agents. So all that is done. If I need a transaction saved, I will be able to send it, full visibility, the leadership team, the member. They're able to see all that happening. And then in the event I need money, because we know they operate also small loans. Yeah. They are able to initiate. Again, approval is done within the leadership. All that is done within the Wendy Mobile Wallet, digitized. You don't have to be in the same place. You know, they've been meeting particular days to save, so they have to move kilometers to come save, let's say, money and then go. No, they can save wherever they are. The leadership can approve transactions wherever they are at their convenience. Agents are near them, all that done within the Wendy Mobile Wallet. And then the icing on the cake, because they've been saving money and sharing the same money without growing it. So we are able to give them attractive interest rates. They earn them on a daily. They are able to see them. They are able to access them anytime. All that is done through the access of our USSD because we know majority have feature phones. They've said smartphones are quite, expensive.
Yeah.
But even those with the smartphones, they're able to access the same through the Play Store and the App Store. So we are very cognizant of this issue for savings through the groups or through the communities. I think even this week on the news, if anyone saw that story, a group saved money and it got burnt into the house. All of it. If you've been to these communities, I don't even know how to explain.
Yeah,
They
it's
meet
harrowing.
on a weekly basis and save their small money. So imagine at the time of sharing, the box is somewhere and then money is burned. And not only that, they also face the risk of these boxes being stolen. We had a case in Nebi, money was saved, I think around 90 million. At the time of sharing, the box went missing. And even the people who keep boxes, they don't sleep. They will tell you anything moving at night, they are scared. So when the mobile wallet has come to take away all that, we want to change the story. We want to grow with these Ugandans, the cross-border women traders, to support them, digitize their savings, digitize their transactions, their operations, without taking away what has been happening when they meet as a group.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. That reminds me a story of a savings group that had money disappear, and when the treasurer was asked, she conveniently blamed the money. Apparently, it smells nice, and the rats found it spicy, and they went for it. But those are some of the problems I think the digitization can help improve. Anna, there is the iSOKO program. I'll pronounce it American style. But if it were British, we could go another way. I think it's about showcasing the products available through commerce, but most importantly, how is the integration of payments and transaction completion being achieved, or how best can it be improved?
Okay, so the iSOKO, which you correctly
Ah,
pronounced because
thank
it's
you.
internet. There are
Yeah.
two words, internet, I, and then Soko is really Sokoni for market in Swahili.
Sure.
Yes, so iSOKO is an internet trading platform developed by East Africans for the sake of, again, the aim was for the cross-border communities, small businesses. Essentially, it's rolled out in 5 countries: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi. And it has about 59,000 users at the moment. Rollout was last year for most of these countries. But if I may also use the opportunity regarding financing, we are rolling out at 3 borders, which will be Mutukula, Elegu, as we've already had today. We're working a lot in that region. And also one DRC border, which will probably be Goli, which is in West Nile, or in Toroko, which is in the west. An analysis will have to be done on just one of them.
Okay.
But this is going to be a revolving fund that will be to institutionalize it, so that we are working with the financial institutions based there to be able to have a revolving fund again to help the cross-border traders. This will help so that even after we leave, the fund remains and it's able to benefit the communities.
Okay. Penny, quickly talk to us about why cross-border transactions are still expensive and relatively unstable.
Sorry. Thank you, Chris. When you look at these women in informal cross-border trade, they have to basically trade in another country. So that means if they are to trade to that other country, they need to register that country, at the same time also register the side. So you find there are a couple of payments they are making, not only in the different legal entities, but even at the border, they also have to pay. So you find they're paying at the border, Office A, Office B, Office C. By the time they're actually calculating how much they have made, they're actually in losses. So it is quite expensive. So that is why I'm saying it's important to work with the regulators to be able to streamline the process, so that if it is a payment, it is made one-off than having multiple payments being made here and there. The other one is that now, as the digital financial institutions, we have to implement the different infrastructure. You know, Uganda just got out of the gray area. So you find that KYC and AML is very strict. So how do you implement this from all the different countries? Kenya has theirs, Sudan has theirs. So you need to find a sophisticated system that can handle this level of compliance, such that if Margaret is going to trade with another country, she's able to do so seamlessly. So when you incorporate all these costs, you find that it is still high. But the East African communities are trying to see how they can reduce these risks and be able to, these costs, such that the payments are actually seamless and affordable for the cross-border informal traders.
Okay. Mr. Chirenga, let's talk about devices and network at the border, which are some of the key hindrances to transactions interoperability. This being huge contributors to the MFI market support with device and data loans, is something that you've already rolled out, or are you planning to, especially to handle or rather attend to the fact that the gadgets are expensive, away from the fact that they fear them?
Yeah, that one is, I mean, it's beyond engaging with the government, because the reason as to why devices are expensive, and this I know from my previous life selling them, is that they are just taxed too highly in Uganda. I think it's about now 35%. So the only way we can overcome that, I believe, is to engage the government, Ministry of Finance, to explore removing some of those taxes to spur growth.
Okay.
Aside from that, I think we need to also just have conversations with the telecom companies, with the MNOs, to just, you see, for the telecom companies, where they go is where it is commercially viable. So if they consider an illegal area to be not viable enough for them to go there, you will not see a bank or a telecom or... So I think we just need to have these conversations and just demonstrate that there can be value that can be created once you spur it, once you encourage it. So from that perspective, what we're doing as Centenary is that, because at the core of who we are, even in the name it says rural, it is those last mile communities, those small traders that include at the borders. We're trying to work with different partners to see how we can come in. And I'm happy that I've heard from Anna that they are going to have some action at the border towns. So I'll be happy to have that conversation and say, you know what, can we, as a result of having been on the same panel at High People, can we now take this forward and see how Trademark and Centenary can work towards including and making better the women at the border points, because they have a revolving fund. We have the infrastructure that can allow them to reach women at the last mile. We have the platforms that can allow for that meaningful and equitable inclusion. So from that perspective, around devices, around infrastructure, I know that from the roadmap that we curated, we have made recommendations around cross-border connectivity. Uganda has, I think, out of the maybe 10, about maybe 6 are connected. But what can we do more to ensure that we have fiber going there? There's the World Bank project that the Ministry of ICT is implementing with agency NITA called UDAB. How do we support them to be part of that, to ensure that your location from the city, your location from where the activity is not a barrier of entry into financial services and digital services?
Okay. Brenda Mpora, device loans at Post Bank. I think you do enjoy the same advantages like Centenary, only largely name changes. You also have a rural footprint, don't you?
Oh, yes, thank you, Chris, for that. So first, what we are going to support the cross-border traders in regards to devices, how can they access them? We want to empower them. We don't have a product which we are going to bring devices. However, we have tailored loans at very affordable interest rates, because at Postbank, our purpose is to foster prosperity for all Ugandans. That's what we live and breathe for. So we have tailored solutions for the VSLs. Now, these women have been saving money at home, or you heard that their account, when it's not active, they are not able to get like capital easily.
Yeah.
So now, through Wendy, they are able to get access to these loans, affordable. We also are part of the Grow loan in partnership with Government of Uganda and World Bank, which is enabling all kinds of women entrepreneurs, micro, small, medium, to grow their businesses. So with those products, we believe we are going to empower these women economically. And then they are not going to be only affording loans, but also improving their standards of living. Yeah? All that is going to be supported with what we have at Postbank.
Okay, let me just come to Anna. How does Trademark meet the aspect of cost and the stability of cross-border transactions? What are the interventions there?
Of the actual transactions?
The cost and stability. I don't know, the devices can be provided, no doubt, at low cost, and then that should be able to help ease the conduct of business, but also ensure speeds are sufficient so that people are making decisions and thinking at the speed of business. What do you intend to offer as a support to that particular infrastructure that will be created?
So in addition to the revolving funds, and again, based on how much donor financing we get, what we've done, for instance, in Rwanda and Tanzania is also to cost share with specific value chains. For instance, if we have a dairy value chain, then you know their pain point is to get a certain machine that they need to be able to make their trade better.
Okay.
So then you cost share with the groups that have been formed, and then you're able to put up a certain cost, and then the ladies put in a certain cost. This also helps them to get more ownership as opposed to just giving them, which would be okay. But that's another methodology we have. But for now, it's really the revolving funds, some grants, and then cost sharing is really what we are looking at to help them. Yes.
Penny, are you thinking along that line too, or you're comfortable with giving your experience?
What we're mainly doing is providing highly customized systems. So banks, remittance companies, and any other digital financial institution can integrate with our systems and be able to provide cheaper costs to the women informal who are doing transactions. So we are mainly looking at how can we simplify payments securely and also reach the last person other than just focusing here. But then we can only do that by partnerships and investments. We can't do that alone, yes.
All right. Lastly, Mr. Chirenga, the role of innovation in all these. Could it be something that the women informal cross-border traders look at other people intervening, or innovation can also come from within themselves?
Yeah, so I mean, yes, it can come from within themselves, but maybe I'll just share around what's happening. From the perspective of Centenary, we understand that the traditional credit scoring won't work for some of those women.
Yeah.
So we are now deploying machine learning based credit scoring engines to say that, okay, now as a woman, can you at least show us a record of your transactions?
Yeah.
Can you show us the volume of your yield? Can you, so that we now use non-financial or non-traditional ways of credit scoring to be able to extend services to them as they would want them. The second one, as I had mentioned, was the aspect of language. We have begun translating in real time using artificial intelligence to be able to communicate with them and engage with them. The other one that I believe would also be impactful for them would be around extending, once they have been upskilled, can we extend some sort of digital marketplaces for them?
Okay.
So that if you're in Uganda and you want to trade with Kenya, because already we know that we have the East African payment system in place that connects the Kenya, Interbank, Tanzania, and Uganda. Now, how do we extend that as a realistic way of enabling transactions for women? So, but that can only happen once you have trained them, once you have walked them the journey of first accepting that digital is a way of life, that you can access help on your phone, whether it's smart or feature phone, and then eventually they can begin to participate from that perspective.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I would have loved to give you an opportunity to make commitments, but what you have shared and how you're going to roll that out is commitment enough. It shows that you are up to ensuring that women cross-border business traders begin to, well, make money. That will do it for this panel session. I was going to say this edition of the broadcast. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you can make your way. I will.